As an outdoor enthusiast, I can totally relate to Bill Bryson's book, A Walk in the Woods. His humorous writing style takes potentially serious situations and makes them funny. Anybody who has spent a night in the woods can probably relate to this passage. "Stephen, you awake?" "Yup," he replied in a weary but normal voice. "What was that?" "How the hell should I know? It sounded big." "Everything sounds big in the woods," he replied. This was true. Once a skunk had come plodding through our camp, and it had sounded like a stegosaurus. There was another heavy rustle and then the sound of lapping at the spring. It was having a drink, whatever it was. I shuffled on my knees to the foot of the tent, cautiously unzipped the mesh, and peered out. But it was pitch black. As quietly as I could, I brought in my backpack, and with the light of a small flashlight, searched through it for my knife. When I found it and opened the blade, I was appalled at how wimpy it looked. It was a perfectly respectable appliance for buttering pancakes, but patently inadequate for defending oneself against 400 pounds of ravenous fur. Carefully, very carefully, I climbed from the tent and put on the flashlight, which cast a distressingly feeble beam. Something about 15 or 20 feet looked up at me. I couldn't see anything at all of its shape or size, only two shining eyes. It went silent, whatever it was, and stared back at me. "Stephen," I whispered. "Did you pack a knife?" "No." "Have you got anything sharp at all?" He thought for a moment. "Nail clippers." I made a despairing face. "Anything a little more vicious than that? Because you see, there is definitely something out here." "It's probably just a skunk," he said. "Then it's one big skunk. Its eyes are 3 feet off the ground." "A deer, then." I nervously threw a stick at the animal, and it didn't move, whatever it was. A deer would have bolted. This thing just blinked once and kept staring. I reported this to Katz. "Probably a buck," he said. "They're not so timid. Try shouting at it." I cautiously shouted at it. "Hey, you there, scat!" The creature blinked again, singularly unmoved. "You shout," I said. "Oh, you brute! Go away, do!" "Please withdraw at once, you horrid creature," Katz said. "Screw you," I said, and lugged my tent right over to his. I didn't know what this would achieve exactly, but it brought me a tiny measure of comfort to be nearer to him. "What are you doing?" he asked me. "I'm moving my tent." "Oh, good plan. That'll really confuse it." I peered and peered, but I couldn't see anything but those two wide-set eyes staring from the near distance, like eyes in a cartoon. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to be outside and dead, or inside and waiting to be dead. I was barefoot, in my underwear, and shivering. What I really wanted, really wanted, was for the animal to withdraw. I picked up a small stone and tossed it at it. I think it may have hit it because the animal made a sudden noisy start, which scared the bejesus out of me. And then emitted a noise, not quite a growl, but near enough. It occurred to me that perhaps I oughtn't provoke it.